Bam. Welcome, everybody. Episode 114, Season 3, Episode 10 of Facetious. Look, I'm happy to be in your ears and in front of your eyeballs again. I am one of your hosts. I'm Larry, a.k.a. Bluemanrule, and I'm joined as usual by my main Demi, Mike, a.k.a. Scarfinger, a.k.a. Real Talk. What's up, dog?
Yo, like the way that the where your light is and then put the shadow over your mouth, it makes it look like you have like a hell of a goatee right now.
Right, you know what I mean? Just real 5 o'clock shadowy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, sorry, y'all. It is weird situation today. Try my best to get some things going, and it just didn't work like I wanted to. Like right now, I'm trying my best to talk to you guys, and there's an echo in my ear. So I am going to power through, which is what we do. But Mike, man, what's been going on with you this week, man? Let's get up in because I got a few topics. You know, I got a few topics.
Man, it's just work, man. Like I'm trying to get used to this work schedule, and it's different because I got to be to work earlier than I had to be to work in a very long time. So so that means I got to go to bed earlier, and like between like podcasts, work, show, like doing my paintings and all that other stuff, man. Like all of this stuff is like I don't feel like I have any time at all. And then I had Pooh Bear here this weekend.
Okay,
that was fun. And you know, I always and then I went to see A Wrinkle in Time this weekend with Pooh Bear.
Okay, how was that?
Good for her.
Right. That's it.
Yeah, it was good for her. I didn't read the book. Like I didn't read the book at all. So I have all the questions. The answers to my questions are probably in the book, which is allowed to be longer.
Okay.
But yeah, I have all the questions. Like there is so many questions, and I have all of them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting, man.
It's a good kids movie, and like if you go see this, like know that's you're going to see a kids movie.
So you bought into the fact that it's a kids movie, right?
I went there knowing that it's a kids movie. It's not necessarily for me.
Right.
You know, like I went there with the understanding that it was going to be more for her than it would be me, but I has all the questions, bro.
Okay, so A Wrinkle in Time, and even though it's hot new Disney movie, it still got beat by Black Panther.
I mean, what is not being beat by Black Panther?
That's a valid question. That's a valid question. I'm not really sure. I mean, it is beating everything. Right now, it's what, 5 weeks in a row now? Or 6 weeks? It's tied Avatar or whatever.
Yeah.
And
the crazy part is it just opened in China. Like it just opened in China, and it was like, okay, the China sales are a little bit slow, but they already had a Billy. So what difference does it make for them at this point? Like they already had a Billy, so like
1.2. Like I said, at the end of I estimated about 1.6. That's where I estimated. So I think it might get there. It might get 1.4, 1.5. Slow down a lot, but we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out, man.
There's people. I wasn't on the Dream Team because I was waiting for Sherry to come pick up Pooh Bear, and for the first part of the Dream Team. But they were talking about how like there's people who are just going to see the movie for the first time. You know, the people who bought into all of the stuff about it possibly being about the Black Panthers, and people who bought into the whole thing about like it's not for you, it's for Black people. Like those people are just now finally getting to the movie. Me personally, I've always said, bruh, it's a Marvel movie. It's for everybody.
Everybody,
you know what I mean? Like it's for everybody. So like, Yes, it does take place in a fictional country in Africa. It does have a lot of black people in it, but at the end of the day, it is a superhero movie just like the rest of them.
Absolutely, man. I don't understand why people doing that, man. I don't know why A, people saying that, and B, why people listening. Like, why?
No, well, I think it's a little bit of like, I think some of it is the. I mean, you can blame it on the media, but but I mean, and especially the conservative media. Like the crazy part was like when the movie first came out, and like all of these like Christian groups and stuff like that were getting together on Facebook to boycott and all of this other stuff. And then like there's this one thing where this guy was in Mississippi, and like there's this Christian group outside protesting. And they don't even know what they protesting. Like they just like we'd rather you come. It was basically we want you to come to Jesus. We don't want you to go see this movie. And then the guy was just like, well, were y'all here last week? And the people tried to lie, and it's like, bruh, you ain't gotta lie, especially if you're supposed to be representing the Lord.
Right.
If you're supposed to be representing the Lord, then you ain't gotta lie and say that you and your group goes there every 2 weeks. My man who took the video said he works at a place near the movie theater. So like he was like, I'm at work all the time. I ain't never seen y'all here before.
What?
Never.
No.
He was like, yo, right there, that restaurant right there. I work right there, and I'm at work almost every day. And he was like, and I worked here for how many years, and I ain't never seen y'all.
Never seen y'all.
I ain't never.
Let me turn this light on. Let me turn this light on, man. He ain't seen him though.
I ain't never. And then it was just a lot of that. A lot of people were just like these weird preconceived notions about the movie, and then like maybe you got some black friends, and
right.
You know that your black friends was really excited about this movie showing black people in a positive light as rulers of their own country, and like you see a lot of black people as the good guys and not just the sidekick to the good guy, and maybe they felt some kind of way about it. But at the end of the day, if you care about Marvel movies, you need to see this movie because
yes,
you know, like we've seen from Infinity War trailers that like at least part of the movie takes place in Wakanda.
Yeah, it's a huge backdrop. Actually, I was listening to Kevin Feige saying that Wakanda is actually very critical to the Marvel universe moving forward. A lot of the stuff that happens there because of the technology that they have there, right? The vibranium, how that affects the universe. I mean, they have things that now, when fully injected into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, give it a whole new complexion. So that's going to be very, very interesting how it's used. And so, like, if people miss this movie, bro, you're going to be lost. Like, you're going to be lost. You're going to be out in the streets lost.
Lickety lost. Lickety lost.
Right.
But, I mean, I think all in all, it's a good movie. It's basically The Lion King, which was based off of Hamlet. So basically, on some level, there's Hamlet beats in the movie.
Oh, okay.
There's Hamlet beats, and there's definitely Lion King beats. Like there's some real serious Lion King beats in Black Panther. Like for real, if you ever seen one of those comparison things where they kind of like like show examples
frame for frame,
Yeah, they pull out frames and stuff, and it's like, yeah, there's some very Lion King beats in this. But all in all, I mean, it's just a good movie. I mean, I've seen it twice. I was going to see it again. Yeah, I was gonna see Black Panther again with my Pooh Bear. And even though I do have some of the objections to how violent it is, but let's be honest. I sat down and I watched the Avengers with my Pooh Bear, and it's just as violent.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean, come on, dog. Like Hulk is out there like suplexing aliens. Come on, son. Like Hulk is out there suplexing aliens.
He one hitter quitters.
What's the quickness?
He one hitter quitters. A big flying, worm alien ship thing in the face. The face,
right?
That's like one of those, like, okay, all right. I mean, he one hitter quitters an alien in the face. Like, I think we're okay here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I know people have their objections to how violent it is, blah, 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 whatever. But you know what? It's a good movie. And I think everybody should see it, especially if you are a fan of these superhero movies. If you are more specifically a Marvel fan, because DC fans, y'all don't really have anything movie wise to truly care about.
Well, I mean
outside of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, which are getting a little long in the tooth.
Little bit. Yeah, just tad. But no, it's
and like, for all your DC fans, like, no one does the Christopher Nolan movie Batman voice.
Yeah. People say, Simpson say, people are used to seeing black folks, ain't used to seeing black folks doing anything super. And he said they got no street credits. We saw Thor, and that last one wasn't even that good. And
our Ragnarok was really good. No,
see,
the Dark World.
Ragnarok.
The Dark World.
Thor,
I have not seen Ragnarok. I haven't seen Ragnarok yet.
You don't want that number 2. But
The Dark World was terrible. I'm so glad that I saw that shit on Netflix. Like, I'm so glad that I saw it on Netflix, because if I would have paid money to see that, we would have had all the issues. Like, all the issues. If I would have paid, like, so I went to see A Wrinkle in Time, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was going to try to I went on Saturday.
Saturday?
I went on Saturday.
SUR apostrophe DEY?
No, SUUR.
UUR. Like,
so I went to see it on Saturday. And it was also St. Patrick's Day. So right. Like, I was going to stop. I was going to, on the same street, there's a Hardee's. We was going to go grab something to eat real quick from Hardee's and go about the business. But apparently they had something blocked off. So we couldn't get down the street. So I'm like, man, I gotta not only do I gotta pay the good prices, because I went at like 7.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to buy popcorn and stuff.
Ah, bruh, they hit you. How much they hit you for?
I spent $40 at the movie.
It hit you hard, don't it? Hey,
it was, the tickets were $11 a piece.
11. Mm-hmm.
And then I got the big popcorn, because both of us were sharing, and we was both hungry. We was both trying to get something to eat.
In the bottom, did y'all go back and get the one with the refills? Will you go back and get some?
No, I got a refill before I went home.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the big one.
You just so good. Like, I'm gonna take this 44, this big gulp, and I'm gonna get a refill right before I'm gonna sit back and sip it.
Yeah, I got the big popcorn, and I got 2 drinks, because I wasn't trying to have her drink on my drink. So I got her a big drink, I got me a big drink, and then like, we in the movie, and she's like, "What's up, Slash?" And she's like tearing that drink up, and I'm like, "Pooh Bear." with the claps, like, slow down, because you're gonna have to pee before this movie is over, and I just spent $40 in this bitch. Like, we are not taking a break during this movie. Like, that is not gonna happen.
That's what I hate, man. So number one, I hate it when my kids do that. I'm like, Eli, we packed you lunch because you can't eat everyone's lunch. You can't drink everyone's drink because of your food allergies. So we have to pack you something. Why we get in the car? The second we sit in this car, this sucker want to eat and drink up all this food. I'm like, Eli, you just ate. No. Period. I just shut him down. I'd be like, nah, you can't.
That's when you just be like, Eli.
I could give him that look if I wasn't driving. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he said. So he's
the kid from Dick Tracy. When do we eat?
So yeah, man. But and also, second thing, how many times have you stood in the back in 7-Eleven with the slushy machine, filling it up before you leave the store, taking sips and then filling it back up, and then taking sips and then filling it back?
Okay, so here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. I am a part-time diabetic, so I gotta get the sugar-free stuff. One thing I learned, that sugar-free stuff, that the sugar-free Slurpees fall quicker than the regular ass Slurpees. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I will go get the Slurpee, drink a little bit, let the rest of it fall, and go and put some more before I actually pay for it.
There you go. So it's just
so I just stopped getting Slurpees, dog. Like, it's like not even worth it.
It ain't even worth it no more. Nah, man,
it ain't worth it no more. I don't necessarily feel right just drinking it in the store.
Okay, I feel you. I can see that.
It's kind of like back in the day when you used to go get you some Doritos and then put some chili and cheese in them. Like, it's like, the good chili and cheese is not for your raggedy ass Doritos,
right?
But you did it anyway.
You just left it in there anyway.
You doing what for your Doritos,
right?
You
right.
Good and damn well it was not for your damn Doritos.
But who gonna tell you it ain't? Who gonna tell you it's not?
Yeah, who are me to judge? But yeah, man. I feel a little bit about it. So I just stopped getting Slurpees, man. Like, I don't get Slurpees anymore.
I'm sorry, man. I like that Slurpee life. Cause that 79 cent, boy, that'll get you 32 ounces, and you can just hold that down, man. But listen,
you only spend 79 cents, man. I get whatever the biggest Slurpee they got. I'm gonna get that.
Nah, bro, I only spend 79
cents. If I'm gonna get a Slurpee,
that's a lot of sugar, man.
If I'm gonna get a Slurpee, I'm gonna get the biggest one you got.
All right,
biggest one you got.
And headset moving. All right, y'all. All right, Mike. So let's talk about something that's happening like right next to you, in one of your neighboring states, and it's happening here in Oklahoma. So, I guess back in February, Mike. It looks like it was back in February. I'm just trying to look at this article. Oh no, actually, it just ended this month. On March 6th, West Virginia, the teachers went on strike and they got a 5% teacher pay raise. And Simpson said, though, that it was only really over like a penny or something, like once you break out all of the changes. But 5% is not
because 5% of nothing is still nothing, because teachers don't get paid nothing, dog. Like,
wait till you hear these Oklahoma numbers. Okay. So we have teachers here in the state planning a walkout on April 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember which date it is, but whatever day is like that first day of the week or whatnot, right? So you have them planning this walkout. Actually, it's the day that state tests start. Ain't that wrong?
No, it's right. Standardized tests are stupid.
That's right. You never did well in the standardized test.
Oh, so no. I did excellent in standardized tests. I don't like them because that is all they teach. They don't actually teach.
They teach toward the test and not the material.
When Pooh Bear was in preschool, right? When Pooh Bear was in preschool, they told that we had to go to a thing for her to get ready to go into regular school, and the teacher said, yeah, they only really got kindergarten to really like have some fun, enjoy themselves, learn a little bit, because as soon as they hit first grade, it's all about teaching them these standardized tests. Yeah, and she straight up said that's what all of this is about. It was from the moment they hit first grade, it is all about those standardized tests. And she said the teachers aren't teaching anything other than those tests. Yeah. So like, there's a lot of stuff that they're just not learning. And then with the Common Core math crap, like I don't look. Some people swear by it, like the homie Rashani. The homie Rashani said that he took classes for parents to learn how to do the Common Core math so that they can help their kids or whatever. But like the way that my daughter is learning math right now is crazy. I had an argument while we were waiting, after I bought the popcorn and stuff like that. Right. I'm telling her I spent $40, and she is trying to tell me that I did not spend $40. She was like, you spent like 30, you spent like 30 something, you spent like $30. And I'm like, Pooh Bear, do the math.
But I'm telling you,
22 for the tickets, 18 for the food.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that? And you know, I did the black parent thing.
Right.
I did the black parent thing. You know, like when she didn't get it right, I just said it slower and louder.
Right. Do the
yeah, basically. So then, like, she was trying to tell me all these different numbers, and she kept coming up with different numbers on the top of her head. And I said, Pooh Bear, what is 8 plus 2? And then, like, okay, now let's add up the rest. Mm-hmm. Like, good. Right. But like she's all over the place. And then like the idea, you know, like it's the way that she's learning math and like trying to teach her multiplication and stuff like that over the summer is like the most frustrating thing ever, because she can't do that. She can't do multiplication without writing it down and without doing the work the way that they taught them how to do it.
Yeah.
So Pooh Bear was just like, this is hard. And I was like, this is easy. Like, this is the easy part. And she was like, well, you do it. And I was like, all right, just pick up random flashcards. And she pulled up the flashcards, and I'm bang out numbers. And I'm like, this isn't hard. Like, I didn't have to write anything down. Like, this is, you know, like I had to,
how we learn.
And then we had to do those math test things where they put you where you had to do the thing in like 3 minutes or something.
They timed you, heck yeah, the whole multiplication table, man.
Yeah.
So
and then like you couldn't move on to the next level until you did the addition one right, the subtraction one right, multiplication one right, and then after you got them all right, then they mixed it up for you, and then like you actually got something like you got some street cred in the classroom for getting through all those tests. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And here's the thing though, Mike, and it's not even about that, but about just these teachers. So, you know, I told you, wait till you hear these Oklahoma numbers. So this is what happened. So Oklahoma teachers, the teachers union here encouraged the teachers to strike. Right. And they encouraged the teachers to strike, giving them an April 1st deadline. And they wanted a $10,000 pay raise over 3 years for teachers and a $200 million influx of cash distributions to public schools. Now, we are among the lowest paid in the country. So we have. So listen to what we have, and it'll tell you exactly how low we are. This is the plan that we unveiled. So originally we had a $4,013 increase across the board pay raise, but lawmakers were not able to pass a package of tax hikes to fund that. So we did this. We did a 6-year plan that was unveiled by the Speaker of the House that, when fully implemented, would raise starting teacher salaries from $31,600 to $42,400. Veteran teachers with over 25 years of experience will be paid $60,000, a 50% pay raise from where they're currently at. See what I mean? So that's how low we are. That's mad low, right? So
and then like y'all keep 40 grand. Y'all keep adding more stuff for the teachers to do. Now you want them to carry guns, and there already have been 2, at least that I know of, teachers popping off in the classroom accidentally.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like there was one where some kids got hurt. You know what I mean? Like, and then he apologized. Like that's gonna help. Like,
that ain't gonna help nobody.
Ain't gonna help nobody. So like now we want them to be teachers. We want them to be security guards. We want them to do all this stuff, but we don't want to pay them.
Right. Sister said, man, a 50% pay raise, they've been doing it to these folks with a Coke and a smile. Like basically that's what's been going down, dog. It's been really rough out here, boy. And then it said your teachers bust guns. Hell yeah, we bust guns. Yeah, man, teachers don't get paid enough.
Damn it, now that song's in my head.
Oh yeah.
it did the Rough Riders joint.
Yeah. So but yeah, man, so it's interesting, man, in the regards that I'm sitting up here and, you know, there are people talking about things on Facebook talking about what teachers need raises, and I understand that, but I'm worried about what's going to happen to my kid. Like, how is my son going to finish out his year? You know what I mean? How is he academically going to be graded against other kids in the state and across this country? Like, how is that going to affect him? And I'm looking at it coming from, you know, I used to work up there at the state. I know where the money's coming from, bruh. You know, it's coming from us recently hoping to pass this marijuana bill so we can collect more revenues from that, from us kind of relieving some of the moratoriums on oil and gas. And that's it, bruh. Like, that's it. That's all you get right now. The thing that would have to change the most here is that we've been reducing our personal income tax for a long time. We would have to raise it. We'd have to raise it. You know how hard it is to raise taxes?
You know, a lot of people go back and forth with the whole taxes thing, right? And I'm like, I'm not one of those people that think that my taxes only go to the things I hate.
Right.
So like I know,
and I could tell you that for a fact they don't. They go to
right.
public
right, because people think like, you know, I'm paying taxes and it pays for welfare and blah 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 whatever. Like, do you understand how much corporate welfare that your taxes are paying, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like how much you paying for these corporations to skate and not pay their taxes?
Exactly.
So like there's a lot of things that taxes actually go to. I don't mind paying the taxes if I know that you're going to take care of these teachers, if they're going to be in a better position to take care of my child. Right. That part doesn't bother me. My problem is like, are they actually going to see this money? Like, for real, like you stretch it out. You stretch it out. You can stretch it out for a long time. You know, it's just basically it's like football contracts where it's like, yeah, you gonna get this much money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this much is guaranteed up front. You only gonna be guaranteed this much,
right?
So look. If you're not passing your test, if your kids aren't passing these tests and stuff like that, we just gonna get rid of you, and then we gonna bring in somebody that don't want to be a teacher, because that's really what's happened. What happened to teachers is a lot of people are teaching because they want relief from their student loans. They don't necessarily want to teach, and like somebody came to them and was like, "We can do something with your student loans if you come teach for a little bit," and then people just do it, and that ain't even really what they about.
Well, like Slasher says here, man, like we're going through that here, raising gas taxes twice to repair the roads. And the roads are the worst in the country. I don't know, bro. Oklahoma's roads are pretty bad as well.
Virginia got some. We got some issues.
Y'all ain't too bad. Y'all ain't too bad when I was out there. Y'all ain't too bad compared to us. Y'all are great.
W complained about the roads. One time he went to visit the naval base in Norfolk. And W said when he was doing his address at the naval base, he was like, "Man, y'all guys, it was a rough ride to get here." And somebody was like, "That's on you, dog. Like, how about you throw brother some gas?"
But you know what though? You got to understand, W is from Texas, and their roads get paid. They get a lot of money from the oil and gas industry, whom they did not forego a lot of tax and corporate tax relief down there. So they get a lot of money because Texas A&M by itself, just the MBA program gets, when I applied back in 2002, dog, they had an endowed fund from oil and gas of $66 million worth of scholarships that they got every single year.
And I just, you know what? The answer to this is just legalize weed. Take that weed money and do something with it. Like I always said, that there's no reason why sex and weed should not be legal.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know,
because Anybody who wants it and is willing to pay for it knows how to get it. So that means you stand in front of them and you put your hand out, make sure that everybody got their certifications. You know, come on, pay me for these certifications, put some taxes on that jank, and let's get paid. Let's get paid. Like, it's really that simple. Anybody who wants to pay for sex or weed right now should be able to, and they can't. Well, they can't do it legally. How about that?
Unless you're in Vegas or in California, certain states stuff.
States. But I think let's and somebody said lottery money is supposed to help the schools, but that lottery money passes through so many hands before it actually makes it to the schools. It ain't doing nothing.
Well, so here's the thing. So let me answer the first thing. So Simpson was talking about, we're talking about the teachers getting that student loan relief. He said soon that won't happen. He said soon they won't get that relief anymore.
Yeah.
That program's gonna go.
Because you're born 45.
Yep. Nah, B. Ain't no free rides. But the lottery money, right? So when I was at the state, I had to, as the revenue analyst who kept track of the money, I had to prepare a statement that said we did not supplant, which means we did not use the lottery money for anything other than what it was initially determined to be used for. And I had to provide proof, and I had to provide like deposits and appropriation allocation deposits and expenditures and disbursements. I had to provide all of that. So I will tell you, and I firmly believe this, because when I was at the state, because when we were at the state, when I was at the state, they actually started two forms of revenue streams that weren't here before: tribal gaming and the lottery, when I started. And so I was there for both of them, and we had to say that both of them were being used for what they were being used for. So I can tell you without a fact and without a doubt, at least in Oklahoma, I can't speak for anywhere else, but that money goes to where it says it's going to go. There are apportionments and there are percentages. However,
but then you got, but like, even with all of that, you still got teachers that got to buy their own supplies.
This is the problem, right? So this is what's going on, and this is the biggest thing here, Slasher, that I'll say, and Simpson, is that here's the problem. And I've said it before. People say there's no funding formula in education, and they're lie. They're lying to you to your face. So the issue is this, and I'll sum it up in 20 seconds or less. The issue is this: the schools that do the highest on the test generally have better resources because they can pay their teachers more, and you get money. You get more money based on how well your kids do on the tests, and that creates a cycle. So the good schools end up getting having more resources to have more students that have better grades, and they end up getting the money. What you need to do is take that and flip it, and the schools that have the worst need to get the most money. But that's not how the formula works, and that's why, even though in Oklahoma we
and that's why those teachers in Atlanta got. That's why those teachers in Atlanta got hit, because they were fudging the numbers to make their numbers better so they can get more money for their kids. Exactly. They got caught and they got fed time.
Yeah, because
fed time, like
federal funds, bro. Because it's magic funds, like.
Yeah, they got real fed time, and then like something else about legalizing weed and sex is like we could put some more money to our infrastructure. Like, you got bridges falling in places, dog.
Yes, son.
Was that happening in Miami? Like, yo,
yeah, it was in Miami. It was a pedestrian bridge, and it just crashed down into the street and it killed 4 people.
How does that happen?
Bro, we had a bridge here. You remember it happened in Minnesota, right? And then we had one that happened here in Oklahoma, man. And part of the interstate just collapsed. And man, it's terrible. It's terrible. And so Slasher says they're in Detroit, and some of the poorest schools were so heavy and corrupt that they found so much blow up for spending when an audit is done. Since everyone's good school, there are two for every one good school. There are two bad ones, and you can't handle the financial capital either. Yeah, man. Like, and that's the thing, man. Like, there's so much, because you have people. There aren't a lot of good controls in schools anyway. Like, you don't have enough separation between the people who can spend the money and people who are supposed to put controls on the people who spend the money. They're too close together. Like, they need to be further apart, and they need to be their own entity. But in the school district that doesn't
then y'all have a mayor go to jail,
man. Oh, you talking about Detroit?
for corruption?
Yes, probably. Yeah, probably more than likely. More
No,
than
I
likely.
ain't, they talking about me on that vape. I am not on. I am not on the thug juice today. I bought some new juice, and I am currently on pineapple candy. This stuff, this good, bro.
There you
Good.
go. There you go. But so, you know, I just say, you know, for the teachers, you know, my mom was a teacher for a while. Like, look, they really deserve more pay. The problem is when you run, when you set up your revenues in a way that makes it hard, to collect any, then you're setting up yourself for a future problem. And this is where we're at. So, I wish I had something better to say about that, but I just really don't. Because at this point in time, there really is nothing good to say about that. I mean, it's just it's a bad situation for many people involved. So, but let's get on to two things, Mike. Let's get on to two quick things, and then first of all, I was listening to the show, man. Listen to the podcast, and you're like, man, I hate to admit the blue was right, but yeah, Chris Rock stand up wasn't that funny, and I told you. I told you
it was good and it was introspective and I liked what he had to say. I just didn't laugh.
Right. Which to me is saying that it's not that funny. Right? If you're not laughing, it's not that funny. That's how I looked at it. And I was like, I don't know about that one. But I do say you still need to watch.
I hate to say it, but you were right about that one. I don't know about Wokish yet. I don't know about Wokish yet.
I'm telling you, man. I think you like that.
See, what Slasher said, like I like some of his divorce jokes and the cheating spouse jokes. Those were funny. I just didn't laugh because I mean I am divorced and I got cheated on. So like it was kind of funny, but I didn't read it the same way that some others might read it. You know what I mean? Right. I thought the funniest thing he said though was the thing about the divorce court proceedings and like looking around and realizing that everybody in that courtroom is getting paid off him.
You know what? I didn't make it that far.
Oh, you didn't finish it. Oh.
I cut it off, son. I was like, nope. I was like, nah, son. I couldn't do it.
Oh man! And so you ain't get to the part where he's in court and the judge making him do like normal father stuff, like prove that you have like beds and stuff for your kids, and take a picture of your refrigerator to make sure. And he was was like, who does he think I am? I'm Chris Rock, not Chris Brown. Like that was like. You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
you're right.
I grinned a lot, but I didn't like ha 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 ha.
But here's the challenge though. Go back and watch that clip again, and it won't be as funny. And that's what I've always said about Chris Rock. I've never ever found any of his stand-ups timeless or funny a second time around. No. I'll take anyone
in Bigger and Blacker.
Even that one, bruh. Even that one.
I mean, that's too long. That's too long, bruh. Bring the pain, and Bigger and Blacker is, oh man.
Simpson say he don't have a dad nor uncle like Kevin Hart.
I do not like Kevin Hart. I do not find Kevin Hart to be funny. I just don't. I don't get the whole Kevin Hart thing. I just don't. Like I know it's just a me thing. I'm more of a Dave Chappelle fan. I do not get Kevin Hart at all. No, not at all.
I like Kevin Hart. I think that you have to be in a mood. Like, you know what you're getting with him. You know what type of package you're getting. You're getting high energy. You're getting silliness. He's going to talk about ridiculous situations. It's going to be funny, but it's not cerebral like Chappelle. You know what I mean? It's not that level. It's not that kind of humor. But humor comes in many different packages. I just didn't see the package that Chris Rock was offering. So, pause. But that's really about it for me. He's like, you right. But
before we get into the meat, shout out to Julio on Jessica Jones. Like, I know that he's not Julio on Jessica Jones, but he always gonna be Julio from Power for your boy. Julio for life. He's Julio for life, dog. Like, he could be anything else. anything else, that is Julio. Like as soon as I was like, is Julio? It was like Julio with is Julio with hair? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, cause he had the buzz. But shout out to Julio. Like he did his thing in Jessica Jones.
Man, that's good. I'm glad you found some joy in that, because I'm telling you, man, just like, I'm not gonna get on too much on it, but I'm gonna say, man, that was just as hard to watch.
We need to get some time so we can do that show.
That show was hard to watch, y'all. Like, I don't
get it. The first season was hard to watch for me until Kilgrave showed up. Yeah. I thought this season was better than that, and they didn't need Kilgrave. Or if they would have had a little bit more Kilgrave, it would have been cool. But I thought the Kilgrave we got was good enough.
I just think there were more peripheral developments around her, and that's what made it interesting. But her, still not so much. I still think she's an extremely stunning character. And so that's what the season was about. It was about opening her up a little bit more so she could see herself, and she saw herself a lot through the villain, and it made her realize some things in the end that she needed to change about herself. And I think that was and I hope it does change, and I hope at some point, personally, I don't hope that she finds Luke Cage in the end. Well, the thing is, historically in the comics, now they could go that way, but historically in the comics, they always do find each other. But I don't know. I don't
want her to, because I like Luke Cage and the Night Nurse. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course. Because
the Night Nurse got them things. Like, bro, don't mess up the Night Nurse unless the Night Nurse decides she want to go back to Daredevil. Like,
nah,
nobody wants that.
I don't know. Dog, I cannot wait to Daredevil season 3. Y'all, that's happening this fall, by the way. That's happening this fall. So, yeah, I can't wait. But all right. So let me get into this. Let me get into this article, man, because this is what I want to say, Mike. So, how you go to the barbershop and everything, you feel good and stuff when you're there, but you always talk about stuff like we were talking about these stand-ups last week and everything, talking about a lot of stuff, man. Had a really good time. But I read this article this week. My friend Ernest, my old CO at work, he sent me some information, man, and I found this mad interesting. So apparently 40% of African American men have high blood pressure. Like, we battle it all the time. It's an issue. However, there was some research done, and this is what happened. They had 2 pharmacists who went to the barbershops. One was a black male, one was a white female. And with the insistence, and so they set this up in local barbershops around LA. And this one barber helped get like more than 50% of the barbershops in on it. Anyway, what happened is that after the stylists, the barbers themselves, and the pharmacists sit down and then would talk with black men and everything, man, they actually got them on some medication, and their blood pressure, the systolic, the number on top, fell by 27 points. That's a big drop, dude. And the diastolic, which is one on the bottom, which is the one that's hardest to move, it dropped by 15 points, which that's an even bigger percentage jump. And they're thinking that this little small study, if it's replicated across the country, man, it could do a lot of cool things for our community, for the black community, man. So I found it really cool. So the barbershop is not just a place where you can go sit down and kick it, learn a little bit, you know what I mean? But it's actually a place where we're infused with other personnel and stuff from the health industry, man, where it can actually be beneficial. So I say all that, and I want some cheese curds right now. I don't even know where that came from, but I do. However, I think that's cool.
I think part of it is that is the openness and willingness to get some stuff off your chest.
Yeah.
And like the freedom in which you are able to like express yourself in a barbershop format.
Okay.
I think, because you could probably take my blood pressure before and after I go see my therapist, and it would probably like super lower. And Like I can tell you, like when I talk to her and I'm able to get the stuff off my chest, and I really wish I can go back anytime soon, which I don't think I'm going to be able to. I feel so much better. I feel lighter. I feel like, like it's that part where when I go see my therapist, I can completely be myself, and I can talk all the mess I want to about everybody, and I ain't got to hear about it. And I ain't gotta catch no attitudes from nobody. I could just say what I feel, and then we discuss how I should go about expressing myself in a better way than what I had just did. Like so
right.
Like, so okay, so here's how you do this. But like the fact that I could just, I'm in a position to where you're in a lot of positions. Like at work, I can't really be myself. At home, I can't totally be myself because I know like there's parts of me that will just light my home life on fire if I could just say what I want to say.
Right.
But in certain places, including the barbershop, it's a lot of people's therapy. Like you go and you can be yourself. You can be as wrong as you can be as wrong as you want to, but but like you can truly be yourself in a place surrounded by your peers. And that's one of the ways that I get when people are in like fraternities and stuff like that, because you're in a group where all of y'all went through the same thing to get there. Some of y'all got hazed real bad. Some of y'all got hazed not so much because of the rules, because ain't nobody want to get caught. But some of y'all, like when you're with your frat brothers, like you can be yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the group. The group mentality, group stimulation, group dynamics. I guess
that's what you were looking for.
That you could say, yeah. Like the group dynamics are extremely beneficial to you. Like you can probably say that it's beneficial to all y'all, but like what it does for you when you're in that space is super beneficial. So I can understand this.
Okay.
On that level.
And I figured you will be able to, man. But I saw it's available at the LA Times, which is where I read it, and also CNN picked up on it. So
really?
I mean, I have the links.
Really, Heathen said, unless your friend is a bunch of rapists, then don't be yourself. Don't be yourself. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean,
it's a solid point. It's a solid point.
You're right. I mean, there's some frats that do some real messed up stuff.
Right. But no, man. So I think that that's really cool, man. That we're kind of teaming, that the barbershops decided to team up with pharmacists and stuff to try to get that issue under control, man. Because I think we die of CVD more than any other class, or not class, but I guess race of people in the country. You know what I mean? We just do. We have it rough, man. It's one reason why we call it the beaters, So that's what it is, man. But okay, so let's get into, man, we are 50 minutes in, bro. We rolling. I saw this little article, man. And so for people who, we were talking about it earlier, we were talking about Black Panther and the Marvel Cinematic Universe earlier. I have this article that has a Marvel Cinematic Universe watch order. I want you guys to go out there and take a look at that because they have all the phases and they have the order in which you should watch the show, because the timelines switch a little bit. And so some things you may not be aware of just because a movie came out after actually takes place before some movies that came out before it. So you just have to kind of know where you are. So this all kind of plays into everything. And so, yeah, I want to throw that out there.
You know what I like about it, about this list?
What's that?
Is it's a movie watch list, because the ones where it's the full MCU where you got to add in the TV shows, including TV shows that ain't around no more, like Peggy Carter or Agent Carter or whatever, and all that other stuff. Like there's no part of me that ever wanted to watch Agent Carter. Like seriously, like I've never like halfway cared about Agent Carter at all. And that's probably the reason why it died.
Yeah, it was well because it took place in a time period that doesn't appeal to a lot of people, bruh.
It took place it just took place in a time period that I was completely uninterested in, just in general, including like most of Captain America. I was not interested in most of Captain America at all.
Me either. I tell people that and they like, what you talking about? Captain America was like the greatest Marvel movie. No, it wasn't. Who was watching that? Who black, was watching that and felt really good about that time period that was taking place in? Who?
Right.
Who?
And we just gonna add, for those of us in the know,
right?
We know that they came up with the thing for Captain America by testing it on a whole bunch of brothers, and they messed up a whole bunch of brothers. And before Captain America, there was a brother Captain America that actually survived all of that. So if you know your history, dog, know your comic history, and you won't be doomed to repeat it.
Right. So yeah, man, it's crazy stuff out there, man. But I don't understand why people are just like, but this is a really good article for you guys. Just gives it to you in order. So take it, go watch it. I'm trying to get my wife, run her through it. I'm trying my best to get her to watch Iron Fist and Defenders. She just
my girl fell asleep on Iron Man twice.
That first 25 minutes past the explosion, like after that, it is slow. Then it picks up.
It's slow. It's real slow until he gets from Afghanistan.
Right. I mean, it gets real slow. It gets kind of dark. You ain't ready for all that. And as Heathen says, it's a good slow though, and I kind of agree. I enjoyed it. But if you're not about this life, if you're not about this comic book life and this comic character life, and you don't really know superhero life, then it could feel slow.
Now I'm gonna tell you the weirdest thing about my girl.
Okay, is she okay with you releasing this and in public consumption?
No, I ain't talking about nothing like personally.
Okay.
I ain't talking about like no personal things like that ass though. But but for real, that ass though. But like she loves Jessica Jones.
See, some people do.
I mean, loves it. I mean, but she's a white lady, so
right.
I think but on the other hand, she really did enjoy. She really enjoyed Black Panther.
Okay, cool.
Which I found interesting.
Well, I find it less interesting because Black Panther is just a good movie, full stop. Like, despite how you feel about social commentary on it, I just think it's a good movie. And I think
there's not a whole bunch of I think Black Panther is the perfection of the Marvel formula because there's not like the Iron Man slow moments. That's not there.
It bounces from beat to beat with a challenge to mission to let's think about this and revelation and like you constantly feel it moving different places. It's constantly moving, and it kind of keeps you engaged in that regard. But then there's also some pretty sly character development going on around you when you're not paying attention, right? So it's pretty good.
I just think that one scene that they cut a scene, and I think that one scene should have been in Black Panther. There's a scene with what's the homie name? I can never think of Wakabi.
Okay.
Wakabi and his lady that was cut because Wakabi and Okoye and that scene was cut where they're discussing the transition. And like they're at odds about the transition, but it gives you a little bit more backstory to their relationship because their relationship it's like one line at the beginning of the movie, and then it's supposed to be a big thing at the end of the movie. It's kind of like how I said Killzone is, where like you get to the end and like something happens and you're like, oh, you know what? I was supposed to care about that. Kind of like like I said with Killzone, because Killzone 2, a guy dies in Killzone, and you're like, why is this such a big deal? And like, if you didn't play Killzone 1, like most of us, you didn't realize that's the guy who you are in the first game. Like, there's something missing there because most of us came in on Killzone and Killzone 2.
Yeah.
They should have remastered 1 if they were going to do that. So,
okay. All right.
But they cared about it much more than we did, apparently.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got a couple of things I've been consuming, man, and then we'll get up out of here just real quick. So I played this game, The Station. It's a horror game that I supported on Kickstarter, and they actually have my name in the credits, which is cool. And it's pretty cool. It's like a walking simulator, but it's in a science fiction atmospheric game made by some people who made BioShock and stuff, man. So it's actually pretty well done. Finished it last night. It's pretty cool. And then I went, thanks to my boy Chase, I re-downloaded Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, 2 games, Conviction and Blacklist. Both are really, really good. Was trying to play co-op with Chase, tried to download this thing called Tungle, which is like a VPN tunnel where you can connect with a LAN, like a private LAN. Man, that thing didn't work jack.
They used to have one of those for Halo 1 on the Xbox.
Really?
Where you could do like LANs through like your computer and stuff like that. It was like some weird stuff, but something like that used to actually exist.
And here's the thing, I tried to do it. They're made by a German company, and it's cool because Google translated the page, and like they're legit. And but it just didn't seem like I wanted to work. I signed up with a username and a different password, just specifically for the site, and it didn't even work in the app. Like the app wouldn't even recognize my stinking username and login, even though I had verified my email. So I was mad because I really wanted to play some Conviction with Chase because it has its own co-op mode, its own mode, own story, own characters, own like all of that cool stuff. And Blacklist is even better. So I really wanted to get that in, but I didn't get a chance to. So sorry about that, Chase, man. I'm a little upset about that. We didn't really get a chance to get it in like we wanted to, but maybe I still have it. I just uninstalled it. I was just mad. I just uninstalled it. And I may not install it again because since then my computer's been not acting right, so I probably won't install it again. We'll have to figure out something else. But no, man, that's all I got. Mike, what about you, man? What else you been?
I got 2 things.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I've only really been consuming my normal DC TV shows. I haven't really played any games at all. But I did, however, for like a good 5 minutes. Like a good 5 minutes.
A good 5? Like the solid 5, where you feel like been here.
I checked in on your boy Chase because Chase has been skipping out on the game nights because he is recording these videos with his lady and her friend on Doki Doki Literature Club, and
Hot Madness.
It is like I can only say WTF, like.
Right.
I mean, but then like he actually has fans and stuff and people showing up. And then the worst part about it is like when we do actually play games or when he did stream the show. I'll answer that in a second. When he did stream the show, he all of them showed up expecting Doki Doki Literature with his lady and her friend doing sexy anime girl voices, and they got me instead, and it didn't quite work out. So
that's
yeah,
funny.
But I mean, he's doing his thing over there. He's starting to get some people joining in. If you like anime and stuff like that, and you like chicks making sexy anime voices, y'all should check out your boy Chase Awaken Heathen on the YouTubes when they do the Doki Doki Literature Club. I was there for a good hot 5 minutes.
You're like, all right, I'm out.
5 hot minutes, and like what was happening in the chat was way worse. Way worse, and the fact that
tonight.
He's doing it again tonight because he doesn't do the game nights no more because this is getting him more pub. But is it the pub you want?
Question.
Always a question.
Like they say in Domino's, listen to this: all money ain't good money.
All money ain't good money. All the sexy anime voice fans are not good sexy anime voice fans because they always gonna want the sex. They always gonna want They always gonna want the sexy anime voice, and then when you show up with me, I'm not giving no sexy anime voice. Like I might be able to pull off a good, I might be able to pull off a decent Vegeta if you really wanted me to, but ain't nothing sexy about Vegeta.
No, but that's my dude though.
I actually, like my handle back in the day used to be Black Vegeta. And then the last thing, I actually used the polls feature here. And I put the question for last week. Do you actually use Twitter highlights? I'm not gonna say how many votes we had because not very many, but 100% said no. The answers were yes, no, or why would I do that? And
I see that.
100% no. And then in the chat, they kind of got off on a tangent when you did the pause, and they were talking about a meat dimension, and so I put meat dimension ? We got 33% said hell yeah, and we got 66.7% said man ninja no.
Right. Nah, son. Now it's
50-50. It's 50-50 right now at that point. But man ninja no was winning for quite some time.
Well, thank y'all for participating, man. We sure appreciate it. Mike, let's get these shout outs in, man, so we can get up out of here because I got to eat. Your boy is starving. About pass out.
Shout out to the folks, man. All y'all. Like, whether you here now or you're going to be with us later, shout out to the folks. Do I think that do you think he said he asked me about the prequel, the Man of Steel prequel Krypton. Okay,
how do you think it's going to do as a TV series is what he said.
I don't know how well it's going to do because it's on Sci-Fi. 1.
Ooh.
2, I already got a spoiler. Well, I watched a preview, and part of the whole thing is like Superman's grandfather.
What?
And the story centers around Superman's grandfather, but somebody, and I don't know DC characters that much, but somebody shows up and tells him about his grandson.
Oh, really?
So somebody basically spoils him on his family's future. So like, how does all of this play out knowing that that he knows that his grandson is going to be the shiznit? You know what I mean?
Right. Or that it knows that his kid's going to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then so like that's a little weird. And then like and then also like apparently the Zods in here are black.
Really?
Zod's family is black in this. Like I don't know, and apparently Superman grandfather and one of the Zod kids is they in love or something. But they're in different classes of society because
they have a caste system.
Yeah, I mean I saw a preview. So Superman's great grandfather is like disgraced, so now so the family gets put at a lower class. Yeah. And Zod's family is a military class, and they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to do that thing together because they on 2 separate levels.
Okay.
I think it could be really interesting if done right. And
we'll see because Superman is boring.
It looks interesting. It does. I don't know how it's gonna go with it being on Sci-Fi, and I don't know how it's gonna go being that like how you show up to the past and you start spoiling stuff.
Right. Flash. Sorry.
bro, I'm on season 3 right now. And we're getting close to the point to where when we find out who Savitar is, and I'm just waiting to see the look on her face when she finds out who Savitar is.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I just found that out not too long ago.
I called it, and then I was just like, no, it can't be. Like I thought about it, was like, okay, maybe it's this, and then I was just like, nah, we good, and then be like, word, that's what it was. It was what I thought the whole time. Poppycock.
So, all right, man. Well, hey, I got shout outs. I got a few. First of all, shout outs to everybody joining us live tonight. Simpson, Slasher, Chase, Shout outs to the gaming vessels who I've been listening to as well. You know, I always listen to Starting Point, I always listen to Game Enthused, and I'm always listening to all these people out there.
I'm probably gonna get my RimWorld on, and then I'll listen to some podcasts. You know how many podcasts I'm behind on?
On Levitard.
On Levitard, which is the most listened to podcast.
All right, Slasher.
I am behind like 60 something shows right now.
Yeah, that's rough, dog.
68. 60. I'm behind 68 shows right now.
That's rough, man. But hey, everybody, look, I'm still trying to figure this thing out. I thought I had it figured out before, and I did not. So I'm still trying to figure out how to multi-stream out. Yeah, because Crowdcast doesn't want to play well with OBS and let me do that. So, however,
Crowdcast does have a feature. You got to put some more money in it, but Crowdcast does have a feature that you can broadcast out to like Facebook and YouTube and all of that stuff simultaneously.
Okay, might have to do that. Might have to get my own because all of these shows come up.
No, do you know how much that costs though? Like are we talking like $90 a month?
No, I ain't doing that.
Yeah,
we'll figure out something. But we here for now. So everybody, thank you again so much for dropping in and watching or downloading this. Mike, I'm gonna need copies because, like I said, it didn't work. If you just send me the video, I'll do the rest.
Okay.
That's really about it, though. Everybody, thank you so much. We'll be back in your ear, in front of your eyeballs again next week. You need to figure it out. OFR 400 might want to do a live show. I can show y'all how to do it on Hangouts. Makes it easy. Yes. But yeah, thank y'all so much. We'll be back in your ear again next week. Hey, if you didn't vote for your primary this week, then you probably should have. I'm talking to me. But y'all get out there, be active, do what you can, be safe, and peace out to the Warriors.
Peace out to them Warriors, bro. Oh, I forgot. I gotta end the show.
You do that every time.
I clicked on something else. Like I was on Facebook. Somebody was selling the Xbox for $140. I was like, like yeah, all
the One X. No,
it's just an Xbox. I was gonna give it to my daughter, bro.
Right.
All right, then, for real this time.
All right, y'all. Peace out.